Hello everyone, my name is Dorian and welcome to another track guide with the F3. We are at Interlagos and what a great combo it is. I'm gonna race here this week 100%. I didn't learn my lesson from last week losing about 500 iRacing at Brands Hatch. So I'm just gonna show you guys the lap real quick and then we're gonna go over it corner by corner. If you enjoyed it, if it helped you, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think about it and hop over to my Discord as well. That's it, let's get on track. Okay, let's look for a breaking point. So it's going to be right after the 50, between the 50 and this little hut here. Other than that, I don't see anything specific, but anywhere between those guys is somewhere you want to break. The braver you are, the later you're going to break, but not really worth it. A lot of braking here, I would actually try to prefer to break a little bit less than 60%, maybe around 50%, and starting to trail brake into third gear. And I'm looking for the curb on the inside. I'm gonna catch the bottom part of it because as it becomes as you go into the inside, it becomes a lot steeper. The car will bottom out, it will get upset. All the grip is right around this part where it's darker, so you want to try to ride it and turn in quite late into it. And I'm already on the throttle here very early. I was neutral for a little bit, trail braking slightly, and then neutral, then the downforce do the work, and then 50% until I'm done with this corner. 60, 70, 80%. As the car straightens out, I'm committed to going flat out from this point on. I'm catching this curb on the inside, nice and easy. Not trying to do anything drastic with the wheel, just try to keep the car as straight as possible, and I'm riding the curb on the inside the whole way through. Now, you don't have to. You won't gain any time by catching this curb, this part of the curb. You can actually stay a little bit more to the outside. In fact, probably better for the tires. And straighten the car out, staying on the right here, looking for a braking point. So this access route is a good indication, but an even better indication is where the white line kind of breaks the angle right around here. I'm hoping you guys can catch that in video. So that's my braking point. As I hit it, I'm gonna brake 60% into fourth, and a late downshift into third gear after I started trail braking. So right around here, I'm already turned in, I'm already starting to trail brake, but I'm gonna downshift very late in an effort to have a wider entry here. I don't want to catch this curb too early and try to carry the speed. And I'm trail braking into it. Again, the same with turn number one. You don't want to catch the the steeper part of the curb, just the inside bit where it's darker. That's where the rubber is, but that's where the car really likes it. I'm starting to accelerate through the corner. As I hit the curb here, I'm going to start accelerating through it. 50, 60, 70%, and all the way to 100, even before I complete my turn in. You can see the car is sliding out right now, and I'm actually catching the slide just a little bit towards the end there. It's very aggressive on the tires, but I found it to be the fastest way. This setup is very slippery. The VRS setup that I'm using right now. Look, taking a nice short route into the outside here. Let's look for a braking point. There isn't really any. I'm entering this corner as if I'm gonna take it in 5th, and I'm gonna downshift into 4th quite late. Hugging this curb, but not touching it. There's no need to clip it. Very little trail braking. Car is very neutral, and as I'm about halfway through the corner, I'm gonna start accelerating back out again. I don't like being aggressive here. I've seen other people do it very aggressively here with throttle. I like to be as smooth as I can on the initial part of the acceleration, and when I feel like the bottom end has settled down, the back end has settled down, that's when I'm flooring it. You don't need to be linear the whole way through, just the beginning, just to sit the back end down, and then you can accelerate very strong through it. Obviously, catching this curb, very important. I did a bit of a lift there, a little bit of hesitation. Didn't really cost me any time. It's just to try not to run too wide here. You can actually go very wide, but I prefer not to. I don't like catching the car too much on the outside here. So I try to stay with at least half the car on the tarmac. And as soon as the car straightens out, I'm already starting to brake. Into 3rd gear, trying to carry the speed into this corner as much as I can, and at some point about halfway through it, I'm gonna downshift right here into 2nd. The objective is, as I've said, to carry as much speed as you can, but at some point you're gonna need to focus on your exit here and try to remain in the middle of the track. Already accelerating in 2nd gear here, 50, 60, 70%. I'm not trying to squeeze too much speed out of the car. I'm just trying to stabilize it. And as soon as I reach this point where the car is sort of where I got about a car width worth of space here, and I'm gonna lift very aggressively to put some weight in the front end. As you go downhill, there's a lot of weight on the front end. You do not need to use the brakes. In fact, the car is gonna want to oversteer at this point, and you need to catch it with the throttle. I'm trying to hug it the whole way through on the dark part of the curb again. And I'm gonna use a little bit of throttle. As I use more input, I use more throttle just to keep the back end in check. 50, 60%. I'm being very cautious here. I'm just trying to maintain the balance in the tires. And about halfway through, I'm gonna start to accelerate out of it very aggressively from 50% to 100%, using all of the curb, upshift to 3rd. And we're looking at this tree, and that's gonna line us up very nicely to the entry for the next corner. So looking at this tree really helps for me. That's sort of my indication. If you wanna know when to brake, it's right around when you reach the end of these red and white stripes. I braked a tiny bit too late in my opinion. I should have braked a tiny bit earlier, but around this area. And because I braked a tiny bit too late, I kind of went wide here. And I would prefer to put 2 wheels right around here, and my right wheels of course, and that will just give me better rotation and a better exit. I was still trail braking. I kind of missed this curb, and that cost me around a 10th. So keep that in mind. Try to be a little bit closer, maybe brake a tiny bit earlier, turn in a bit harder at the beginning, and that will sort you out. I'm using the camber on the exit, so I'm going about 80% throttle until I know I'm safe. Being very linear here, not trying to be too aggressive, and I don't want the back end to kick out as I straighten out the wheel back to 100%. Going into the middle of the track here, just to have a nice wide approach into this corner. It's a easy flat out corner. With the setup, the back end can step out sometimes, especially with cold tires. Keep that in mind. In fact, cold tires are crazy on this track because you need a loose car to get around these corners. So cold tires is very difficult. Try to be very cautious on your first couple of laps. Now, in terms of a braking marker here, there's patches of grass or dirt, whatever it is. That's sort of my indication. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. I'm between 1 and 2 is where I'm starting to brake. So right around here, when I actually have a good look at this guy, I'm gonna start braking for a short period of time into 60% and immediately starting to trail brake and let off because I need a lot of steering here. And I'm gonna start turning right before it merges between grass and tarmac. Taking it all the way to the left here, trail braking a little bit, but not a lot. I'm already neutral at this point because I'm looking to get on throttle as early as possible. And in fact, I'm gonna give it a lot of throttle before I even hit the apex. around 50%. As I hit the apex, I'm already going to go to 100%. A little bit of hesitation there because the back end does kick loose here. So I was kind of fiddling around trying to steer with the throttle, so to speak. And that would give me a nice exit here. Again, I'm starting the car out and not letting it go too wide there and not letting the back end kick out. That's it, taking a short route here, nice and easy. I could have stayed here for maybe, I don't know, a few hundredths of a second, but doesn't really matter. And that would give us a 128.583. I hope you guys enjoyed this track guide. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think about it, and jump over to my Discord as well. That's it. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.